You on yet?
Nope.
It must be on. Something is wrong.
You're very late for Miss Brooks.
Here they are. 2 Chinese lanterns. Check. One of them is his hair. Better leave it for Miss Brooks. What's next?
A bicycle. Hey, Stanley, you're supposed to leave your bicycle here till after the play.
I need my bicycle.
Miss Brooks says it's required.
Do you think they have bicycles at Shangri-La?
Ask the High Lama.
My son, we must keep safe the treasures of civilization behind the mountains of Shangri-La. And what treasure of civilization compares with your bicycle?
You think that's why she wants it?
How do I know? Just go get it.
I'm surprised you took time for basketball to be in the play.
They talked me into it.
What'd he say?
First, he mentioned the great need for somebody to play the High Lama. After that, he mentioned what a wonderful acting opportunity it is. Then he went on to say that if I didn't try out, he'd kick my teeth in.
Very persuasive.
I was planning on trying out for the play anyway.
This was all I could get.
Paper shreds.
How come paper shreds?
How come a bicycle?
I saw Jane in the hall. She's trying to act as though nothing happened. How's she supposed to look? She got fired from her luncheon job.
We heard someone reported she was dishing out unequal portions, playing favorites.
Favorite Ted Wilder. They should consider all she's doing for a play.
Now, I need you to go get me a big piece of tin from the janitor.
A big piece of tin?
Hurry up!
Why should Ted Wilder be in town for special consideration?
No one said he is. You better get these lights set up.
That's easy to say. Look at this list. Boat lights, border lights, spotlights, strip lights. Miss Brooks will have to take over. I'm no electrician.
It's a good thing Miss Brooks is an electrician.
I'm doing the best I can.
Who do you suppose did report Jane?
Making someone lose their job? That's a low-down trick.
I got the drink, but someone will have to tell him.
Who'd you have in mind?
Maybe Miss Brooks?
I'll let her know.
Where's Miss Brooks?
She's still working on stage.
We're going to speak to her about our part. You don't get wearing costumes. Maybe Miss Brooks could guide you a little? It is okay. Did you see the costume Rhonda Allen gets to start around in?
So her mother sent to New York?
It helps convince Ron that the low sin is the best part in the play, and everybody's happy.
I'm not happy.
Neither am I, and I'm going to take it up with Miss Brooks.
It seems a lot of things are going to be taken up with Miss Brooks.
I thought the painting was all finished.
Not quite.
I heard about what happened in the lunchroom.
I'll have more time for the play, and then after the play, I just don't want to think about acting. I think you'd be worn out from work. It's the most fun I've had in my life. I guess this is the most fun in my life. Is rehearsal about to start? Soon, probably. My mother's going to watch. You must have finished up early at the lunchroom.
Oh, I finished up.
You know she got fired. Someone reported she was playing favorites.
I saw you. When Ted held out his plate, you gave him 3 Swiss steaks. Don't you think 3 Swiss steaks is being a little obvious? I bet it was you. I like Ted. I guess that's a little obvious. Just remember, those lines you're saying to each other, they're just in the play. It's all over Saturday night.
Oh, I remember. But it won't be over, not for me.
Gosh, all this paint, I'm not getting any work done.
The nice thing about you, Rhonda, you're so subtle. Not at all obvious.
Thank you. My mother got Chinese vases to decorate the stage.
Oh. Anyway, the school board is welcome to attend rehearsal on presentation of 2 authentic Chinese vases.
I'll tell her. Should I work with Brooke?
She wanted to finish painting before basketball practice, before they strike up the band.
Maybe this is trouble.
Put out that light. You're blinding me. I might have broken one of these vases.
I'm terribly sorry. It was an accident, honestly.
I was just startled, that's all.
guys?
Not right now.
She's doing some work on stage.
This isn't a storeroom.
It's a classroom.
The stage is located next door. This is a very convenient location.
I see. Why don't the rest of you dress for rehearsal? Rhonda's the only one in costume.
Please, Mother.
The rest of us are helping with the play in other ways too. The setting, assembling of properties, things like that.
I'm supposed to be an aristocratic Chinese girl. And aristocratic Chinese girls have very long fingernails. She wouldn't want me to break one.
The rest of us can handle the work, Mrs. Allen. There's no reason why any of you should have to carry unfair loads. After all, the play is one of Miss Brooks's jobs. She gets paid for it. She gets paid less than a dog catcher.
What was that? I just said Les is a dog catcher. What a lovely pair of faces.
These vases give the setting a touch of opportunity.
But they're too valuable.
I've gone to a great deal of trouble.
Of course, and you're very kind. Thank you, Mrs. Allen. On behalf of the entire cast. Elsie, put these on the desk in my office. Careful.
Your dress seems a little inappropriate for a teacher at this school.
I don't wear it during school hours. I've been taking class.
And this clutter, doesn't it upset your classwork? A little? I'm glad you put my vases in your office. If you won't be starting rehearsal for a while, I can help you to Mr. Wadsworth.
When I put the vases on your desk, I knocked over the flower jar. The one with the hyacinth.
I must be seeing Mr. Wadsworth.
It's always nice to see you. Elsie, I'm so sorry about the hyacinth. The hyacinth? You gave me such a scare. Miss Brooks, Miss Brooks, all of you, quiet! I don't want any more outbursts. Steve and I are completely satisfied with our part. They aren't big enough. I'm afraid that means I'll have to find someone else. No! We didn't mean anything like that! My entire family already bought tickets. Then stop being so silly and listen. I'm just a tired old English teacher with troubles of my own. I wish you wouldn't add to my misery. We didn't do anything. Someone was seen smoking in the hall after rehearsal and was brought to my attention, forcefully. Then someone got home extra late after rehearsal and told her mother she'd been kept here reading lines till midnight.
You didn't say we got out at 10 o'clock?
I took the rap, but I'd like to mention that I managed to get into quite enough trouble all by myself. I don't require outside assistance.
You mean you and the coach?
Yes, I didn't mean coach. This play goes on in a week. You'll all have to work harder. I'm ready to go over and over my lines. I was thinking of less aesthetic tasks, such as lettering posters, getting ads for the program, setting up lights, locating furniture, painting class. Jane and I can't do it all. What about the rest of you?
We got dates and things. What does the girl do?
Well, last night, I did the layout on the program, checked the prop list, made a cue sheet, and worked out some lighting problems. Then I relaxed and made coffee while I marked 64 English papers. Well, maybe I'd rather have been on a date myself. You?
On a date?
You're over 30! Medicate's finding advancing so fast, I may have 2 or 3 more useful years left. I bet it's the coach.
You won't get anywhere if you keep fighting with him.
According to an article, you have to be interested in a man's hobby.
Thanks. I read the same article.
But you keep on fighting.
You should express genuine knowledge on his favorite subject and ask his opinion on it. I think it's high time this class is graduating. Now, do you mind if we get back to rehearsal? Here it is, but what is it? For the play.
Miss Brooks, all these things, maybe if we knew what they were for?
Why paper shreds? Why pieces of tin?
My bicycle?
Sound effects. Most schools use sound effect records. Most schools allow funds for such purposes.
What kind of sound effect?
Give me that, Doris. You might as well see. Stanley, grab your bike, turn it over, and start pumping. Marge, get that box of paper shreds.
What are you going to do?
Demonstrate. Now, Doris, get that small piece of cardboard. And with it, just touch the bike shreds.
You're not going to hurt my bike.
Start pumping.
bicycle wheel and keep the cardboard anymore. It's a world of plays. Flying towards Pedro Law. It's a storm raging. You can hear the thunder. The play is getting closer. Stanley, advance, please. Harder.
Yes, Mr.
The storm is getting worse. It's starting to snow. The play is starting to snow. Stanley, it's getting closer. The storm is getting worse. Blizzard. More snow. It's a blizzard. The plane reached the mountain of Shangri-La. The storm is at its height. Blizzard. More snow. It's coming down like... What's the light, Martin? That's all, Stanley. Thank you.
What is the meaning of this?
I was showing them how it works some of the effects I was demonstrating. Surely there's a more organized, more dignified way of handling such things. There is. Sound system, mixers, amplifiers, records, but the way I'm doing it, it does not cost anything. You'll be surprised by how else we're taught night production. By the night of production, it is too late to make any changes.
Perhaps you'd like to wait in my office.
I'll be glad to. I think you all better run along to the gym. Sylvia can prompt. Try to start about 3.
So you're keeping this till after midnight. I'd expect you to be a little further along.
Mr. Watson, about that midnight... Never mind, Marge. You scoot along. Try to keep it from annoying the coach. Scoot.
Actually, I'm glad to see you beginning to give some consideration to our athletics director.
Oh, I consider him a lot.
Then I wish you'd get along better.
So do I.
Then why don't you? And why don't you get along better with Mrs. Audubon? And for heaven's sake, why don't you get along better with Mrs. Allen? Well?
Maybe it's because I'm nervous about the play. Saturday night. Every folding chair in the gym is going to be filled with an aunt, uncle, father, mother, cousin, or member of the entire PTA. Everyone expecting theater guild production.
Saturday. It better be good.
I've got to have some quiet unnerving rehearsal.
You've this room and the entire east end of the gym. What's stopping you?
Trombones, cornets, tubas, and there! Basketball players jumping across the stage, shouting and giggling, "Sylvie, never gone, you kisser!"
I don't want a lot of kissing.
Oh, Mr. Wadsworth.
You may not realize this, but you've got the responsibilities. You've got to get the program invented, costumes, makeup, lights, the set.
I realize.
It's your responsibility. I can't do everything.
Good thing I can.
Well, I don't want you spending a lot of money this year, either.
You mentioned that.
Last year you came to the big list of expenses and almost all the ticket money spent. How much has been brought in this year?
Jane contrived the ticket. The last time she told me, it was about $300.
Jane Drew? We've had a lot of trouble with that. You better take over the ticket. That's a lot of money to leave on the student.
If it wasn't for Jane and maybe Ted Wilder, nothing would get done. They're a big help.
And I understand Ted Wilder's marks ball. We don't want this acting thing to make him an element.
He's carrying quite a load in addition to the play. There's homework, tuning a sports car, some additional basketball practice, and going studying with 2 girls.
With Fondal and who else?
Jane?
Oh, why does that girl keep propping up? The best theme award, the best part of the play, and now this! She's infuriating Mrs. Allen's daughter.
Her only daughter?
Listen, Brooks, I have to deal with Mrs. Allen day in and day out on matters that really affect the welfare of this school. And I'm not going to ever antagonize over something completely unimportant.
She has no cause for antagonism!
And as tactfully as I can phrase it, that's what I told her. I told her you have my full confidence, and you do an excellent job with this play, and by heavens!
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth?
I don't want any more trouble. Not any.
No, Mr. Wadsworth.
You wanted to see me? In my office. Now or later. It doesn't matter. I'd find out why the basketball team made such a poor showing Saturday.
They won.
By 2 points from a weak opponent. I understand the team was sloppy, and I suppose you have an excuse. Well, I'm afraid not. We'll try to do better next time. So you can give me something I can tell people. Wish I could.
Oh, it's the rehearsals. Ted Wilder doesn't work out with the others and interferes with proper practice.
Is this true? Naturally, certain activities take time from other activities. Then, Ted Wilder's going to have to drop the play.
Mr. Wadsworth, it goes on in a week. I could possibly replace Ted. Someone have to memorize lines? Stage business? Please, Mr. Wadsworth!
I can spare Ted until after Saturday. I don't really need him until Monday afternoon. That play's in the back of all my trouble.
I'm terribly sorry. Oh, thanks, Hugo. If you'd taken Ted, it would have wrecked the play.
Thanks for getting me off the hook on the game. We didn't do very well.
It was my fault.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Trouble is, it's true.
No.
Oh, I don't wonder that you've come to hate me.
Hey, you. Listen, just because I blow my top now and then doesn't mean I hate you.
You don't?
Of course not.
I'm glad, because there are some things I want to discuss.
With me?
There are some questions questions I had about your hobby.
About sailing?
Sailing?
That is your hobby.
You bet it is. But I thought you were only interested in cruise steamers.
Is it passports?
You know they mark up the prices when the cruise ships come in?
That's very interesting.
Certainly is to a person on a budget.
I've been on a budget all my life. And you'd be surprised what an economical shopper I am. A meat market or grocery store will take advantage of a man every time. But if he has a woman to do his shopping...
I just stay away from the high-priced towns.
Yes, but what do you do around here?
Eat at the cafeteria.
Ew. A person ought to have one coach Venus. You know, it's funny, but I'm never too tired to fix a steak. Or chalk. Vegetables. Desserts. Sometimes I bake.
You said you had a question about sailing?
Yes. This sailboat of yours, is it a yawl catcher or schooner?
It's a sweet little catch.
Is it Gafford or Marconi?
Marconi?
I always like Gafford because... Oh, because the center of effort is around the sail.
Very few people know that.
Naturally, anyone who's had a lifelong interest in sailing.
Lifelong interest. The gaff rig is stronger, but when a person sails alone, Marconi is easier to handle.
A person may not always sail alone.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Having someone along to help might be alright. If I could just find someone.
Oh, there's so much someone could do. Fix a meal, tidy the cabin, take care of shopping. Two can sail as two plays one.
You're right. You know what? I ought to hire a cook.
But that would cost so much.
Well, maybe I could get one to go along just for the trip.
I guess you've never heard of the AFL and the CIO. What you need is cheap labor. What you need is a wife!
Me?
That's just my observation of a disinterested observer.
A wife? You're crazy.
Mark my words. One of these days you'll be out in the middle of the Gulf Stream all alone and you'll start talking to yourself.
I already talked to myself.
You see?
Maybe they ought to lock me up.
There's a simpler solution.
I guess it's important having help with cooking and shopping. But what a person really needs is someone to see things with and wonder about what might happen tomorrow.
It's hard to enjoy things all by yourself, even around here.
After school and not counting plays and things, you by yourself a lot?
You? Every summer I dream of a little vacation, but I'd always end up as a camp counselor. What do you do in North Salem?
Oh, nothing special. Porpoises cutting water, jellyfish floating by, maybe a black-footed albatross overhead. Seems like they hardly move away. The best part is when you're coming up on a strange island. At first it's just a dark outline against the sky, and then you wonder what it's going to be like.
What's it going to be like?
That's the sort of time I start talking to myself.
It might get worse. You should get married.
Where would I find a wife who'd stay at school 3 seasons and then want to go sailing? You know so much about sailing, I bet you've been interested in it for a long time.
I can honestly say that as a child of 5 or 6, one of my favorite toys was a model sailboat.
Connie, I was wondering if after rehearsal tonight you might want to go for a walk or something, maybe catch a late movie.
Why did you go?
Imagine, at the age of 5 or 6, you were already interested in sailing. It makes me mad to think of all the time we wasted fighting.
Oh, it makes me mad too. We've been talking about...
Sailing, navigation, seamanship. I bet you know more about it than I do.
Not yet, but she will. I found 2 more books on the subject.
Well,
The ABCs of Sailing and Mahan's The Influence of Seapower on History. I'm not sure if The Influence of Seapower on History is the sort of book you had in mind.
Yes, thanks a lot.
the ABCs of sailing.
Somebody she's been reading up on it. I've been combing the library.
A sort of refresher course.
Refresher?
The ABCs.
It's really very advanced. It should be called the MLPQs.
I better get on to the gym.
Hugo? That's the date familiar?
Sure.
I can't be... Did I say something wrong?
I don't know. Yeah.
I thought he was interested in sailing.
He is. Every summer he goes off to Martinique and the Grenadines. He's not just a muscle man. He's kind and understanding, and he observes things.
What thing?
Things like porpoises and albatrosses and jellyfish. It's so fun.
You want to see jellyfish?
Imagine working at the same school as your husband and then sailing off every summer. You come to a strange island and you wonder what it's going to be like.
And then you find out what it's like. Sand flies, no sanitation, a sun-baked misery.
That doesn't scare a camp counselor with 6 years seniority.
Does Miss Allen scare you? Because if she was after my staff, she'd scare me.
What about the school board?
You better thank heaven the other board members are so wonderful. I try extra hard to keep things smooth and quiet. I'm trying.
Miss Brooks! They're passing basketballs back and forth across stage again. Tell them to get out at the east end of the gym. Polite. I already told them.
It's alright. Ted made them move off.
Doris, tell them I'll be there in a minute.
I better get back up to the library. The trombones will be starting soon.
They usually hold out till I begin rehearsal.
Just remember, smooth and quiet.
Is there anything wrong with rehearsal? Simultaneous music and basketball practice.
Oh, it's such a wonderful play. We shouldn't let anything interfere.
Oh, the ruckus, how can you tell?
I can tell.
Would it still be wonderful if Ted wasn't in it?
No.
I see.
Do you?
I do.
The play's the only chance I have. Afterwards, we'll be back at baseball and then basketball.
I'll be back in the grandstand.
He'll notice me as much as one of those wooden benches. Maybe if the play's a big success, he'll look back on it. Sometime.
I hear you were a bit lavish with the Swiss steaks.
You think he knows?
Yes.
I'm going to tell him I came into some money or something, so I quit. I don't want him feeling sorry for me. Maybe I could let him see some of the ticket money, sort of accidentally.
Say, Jane, that reminds me. Mr. Wadsworth thought I'd better take personal care of that money.
Oh, it'll be a relief. I have a list of who has what and who's turned what in. I don't know if it's at home or in my locker.
Better get it to me tomorrow. Mr. Wadsworth suggested it. He's a little excitable these days.
You should have heard him go on at me. I thought I was going to be expelled.
Now, don't you worry about that job. I think I can find you some babysitting.
Oh, gosh, could you?
It doesn't pay much, but then you want to be an English teacher, you might as well get you some poverty.
We better get started.
Still no French ones. If we could just have one quiet, uninterrupted rehearsal, just one. At least then I could get a perspective on the play as a whole.
Couldn't we do something?
I don't know what.
I'll set the try out the snow back past the window.
Good.
I had to chase basketball again. They're just fooling around. Coach didn't call for a normal practice today.
If it isn't a normal practice, then why let them mess around?
What can you do?
Take the basketball. Lock them in Miss Rourke's office.
You're crazy.
Well, you said it wasn't a regular practice. If they don't have the basketball.
What do you think?
Of course, I'd be glad for a quiet rehearsal.
We've got to get a perspective.
You want me to go get the basketballs?
Yes, go get them.
Well, I don't know about this.
You said it wasn't a regular practice. If they don't have the basketball, then they can't keep interrupting, right?
I guess not.
Well, you said you needed a perspective.
Right.
Well, time is so short, we ought to have that practice today.
We certainly should. It's just that I get nervous.
Well, so do I.
Nothing to it. I just said I needed them.
Wonderful. You better put them in here.
All right. Be careful of those Chinese vases.
The what?
Chinese vases!
No! Oh, no!
I'm sorry.
Ted?
The mason jar with the paper clips and the rubber band.
well.
I didn't see it.
Mason jar?
Do you want me to clean it?
No. We might as well take advantage of the momentary lull in the gym.
The play can still be interrupted. I'll be right back.
What now?
Maybe she's going to lock up Mr. Wadsworth.
Well, for a meek sort of character, she seems to get fairly determined.
I'm surprised you noticed.
I seem to be getting very democratic.
Is it on the Alan Mario type?
She's a girl.
I hear you that Jane gave you a value today on the $1 luncheon.
I happened to mention I was hungry. Boy, if she doesn't watch out, she's gonna get caught. Is she not proportioned with that?
It wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Holy cow!
Jane! I don't think anyone saw me. Open the door quick. Now we'll have a real rehearsal.
The show must go on.
Oh, my heavens.
It's getting pretty crowded in there. What are you gonna do?
What can I do? Oh, Jane.
Oh, it's all my idea. I'll take the blame.
You're in no position to take on any more blame.
Gosh, Miss Brooks, we better get started.
Well, have it here. I'll rob him of it.
Do you still want me to try out the snow effect past the window?
No, I can try it myself. Better keep an eye on her. Are you mad? Of course not.
Say, I wanted to thank you for all this mistakes.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow, I'll only let you.
Well, I can't help tomorrow. I quit my job.
You quit your job?
Well, you see, I came into some money. I don't need to bother with that job anymore.
Well, great.
But of course, I'm so used to working. I've heard that babysitting can be very interesting, so I might try that because it's so interesting.
It is?
Some of those places don't mind if you helped yourself to their refrigerator.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with roles?
Some of those places don't mind if boys sit with girls who sit with babies.
Man, anytime I want to really clean the refrigerator, I drop in a little.
I know.
Is something wrong?
Everything.
Well, I thought you just came into a whole bunch of money.
That.
Well, hey, you're doing great in the part time.
Do you think so?
Sure. I mean, really quick feeling on it. I mean, if I were actually a cop, and if you were actually a cop, and if we were actually checking off, you don't want me to leave? I wouldn't.
You'd stay?
If you asked, like you asked me,
You mean, don't go?
then
I know.
don't you think you ought to rehearse?
I guess I already know that part.
Are you sure?
You belong here, and I want you to stay. Don't go.
Rehearsal! Calling rehearsal!
And we should be using the gym. Miss Brooks says here.
It's a really great play.
Lost Horizon. I'll never forget. It's the best person wouldn't ever forget.
My goodness.
What's going on?
Rehearsal.
Is that all?
Isn't it enough?
No, it isn't. Miss Brooks says get ready. Everybody, check your props. Just gonna take a rest from the beginning. I mean, my front face part first. Oh dear.
What do you mean? A rehearsal isn't enough.
I meant.
Forget it. Let's just get going.
I asked you a question.
Hey, how about doing a little work? Join the common people.
It's so nice and quiet today. We have to start rehearsal.
In a hurry.
What? All of you quiet. Where is she? I know she's responsible. Where is she?
Miss Brooks?
You know very well. I'm going to get Mr. Wadsworth. What got into her? Who knows? Maybe there's a reason. Yeah.
Wow, used to be that fan is one of those paper shreds.
Like a blizzard in Tibet?
They're all over the gym.
I'll tell her to speak off.
Wouldn't hurt you. Leave it for the janitor. Or Miss Brooks.
The janitor and Miss Brooks have enough to do. I want all of you who aren't the first seat to line up over here.
Miss Brooks?
Yes?
Miss Audubon was just looking for you. She seemed very upset. She said she was getting Mr. Wadsworth.
Well, we might as well start while we can.
Miss Brooks?
Yes, Hugo?
That confetti or whatever that is in there has the gym floor about ready for another dance.
I'm terribly sorry. You see...
That's all right. I wanted to ask you about something.
Coming?
Right with you.
Ha!
You know, I thought it was foolish to take the basketballs and the band instruments. But to mess around with school fun?
Ted, I didn't. You just don't understand.
I guess I don't understand either. Tell me one thing, honestly. Did you really have a lifelong interest in sailing, or did you just read up on it just now?
I just went up with Hugo.
I guess we best get going. I'll have to look at Martin's spring.
Conway, Ted, don't go.
He's seen you around. Oh.
Well, you sure you still want to be an English teacher? Well, since I'll never have a husband or anything, what else is there for an old maid? I wish I knew.
Mr. Wadsworth, he's getting crashed on the floor. Oh boy, look at the bricks.